Welcome to Rico's Reading Room. Today I'll read an inspirational book called Marathon Mouse. I hope you like it. Marathon Mouse by Amy Dixon. Illustrated by Sam Denlinger. Every New York City mouse dreamed of living under the bridge between Brooklyn and Staten Island. There, they didn't have to dodge taxicabs or escape hungry sewer cats. And when they wanted to visit, the bustling city was just a hop, skip, and a scamper away. But there was one day each year that their life under the bridge was not so dreamy. Marathon Day. It only happened once a year, but Mama thought it was one day too many. All those feet running willy-nilly over the bridge, Mama exclaimed. Some mouse could be crushed. Most mice in New York City agreed that it was the worst day of the whole year. They would cower in corners, shrink into the shadows, and hole up in their homes. But there was one mouse who disagreed. And that was Mama's son Preston. Preston dreamed of being a runner. Most nights before bed, he would read his Charlie Cheddarworth comics and think about how an ordinary mouse could do something extraordinary. School mouse by day, exterminator of evil by night, Charlie Cheddarworth used his super rodent speed to hunt down and defeat even the stickiest mousetraps. Preston wanted to be extraordinary too. He drifted off to sleep wearing his super cheddar cape, imagining the applause of the crowd as he crossed the finish line. Who was that super rodent? A true hero. Mice would make excellent marathoners, Preston told his family. We have twice as many legs. Mice, Papa argued, were not made to run. We scamper, we scurry, and sometimes we even scuttle, but we certainly do not run. His sisters Priscilla and Portia teased him about it. You run 26.2 miles with those stubby little legs? What's next? Climbing Mount Everest? So when Preston decided that he was going to run in the New York City Marathon, he told no one. Secretly, he trained. He lifted weights. He stretched his legs. He even gave up his beloved marshmallows. And he ran. When Mama asked if he could scamper out and fetch supper, Preston ran. When Papa asked if he could scurry up onto the newspaper bin to get more padding for their nest, Preston ran. Each day, he woke up before the rest of his family to run, and each day he would go a bit further. Preston ran and ran until the day of the marathon arrived. Preston loved waking up to the sounds of Marathon Day. Buses rumbled in from Midtown to drop off masses of runners. Trucks hummed as they waited to take the racer's gear to the finish line. Jackets swished as people tried to stay warm in the crisp fall air. Usually, Preston listened to the ruckus tucked tightly in his nest, but this year was different. This year, he slipped out from underneath the bridge and wound up amid a sea of sneakers. There were hot pink, ocean blue, and green sneakers with yellow spots. He saw glittered soles, rainbow laces, and shoes that looked like socks. Some mouse could be crushed, Mama's words cut into his thoughts. Preston could feel his breakfast swirling around in his belly. The feet surrounding him suddenly seemed to grow bigger. The shoes were no longer bright and beautiful. He just looked heavy, terribly heavy. Preston jumped as the starting gun went off with a sharp crack. Through the speakers, a velvety voice began to croon about New York. The race had begun. Booming cheers filled the bridge. The bubbles rising up inside our Preston turned from fear to joy, and he ran. For the first mile, Preston felt wonderful, although he did not expect flying hats, gloves, and shirts to fall from the sky. He quickly learned how to navigate the avalanche of sweaty cotton. At mile 5, another runner got quite a scare when he and Preston went for the same water cup. At mile 9, just when Preston was starting to get hungry, he found something that looked like a scrumptious marshmallow. The bag read, Professor Parsons Protein Power Puffs. It was definitely not a marshmallow. Miles 10 to 14 were a breeze. Up, 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 Preston ran into the quiet dark of mile 15. Ordinarily, Preston would have been frightened of what might have been lurking in the shadows. A cat ready to pounce, a mousetrap ready to snap. But this was no ordinary day. As he flew across the Queensborough Bridge and burst out into the sunshine, he heard the roar of the crowd, and he felt extraordinary. That feeling carried Preston for the next few miles. But as he approached Central Park, he started to stumble. His whole body ached. Maybe his father was right. Maybe he wasn't made to run. He didn't have super rodent speed like Charlie Chitterworth. He just had ordinary mouse legs. He begged those legs to keep moving. Suddenly, he heard voices calling, Preston! He was sure his weary mind was playing tricks on him. Then he heard it again. Go, Preston! You can do it! There, perched on the root of a magnolia tree, was his family. As he ran by, Portia handed him a cloth to wipe his brow and whispered, Run, Preston, just run. Preston surged ahead, with legs numb and toes bruised. He soon crossed the finish line. Preston had barely caught his breath when he found himself being scooped up by a child. Look, she called. This mouth just ran a marathon. But with the clapping of hands and the clanking of cowbells, no one could hear her. She took the cape off her superhero toy and wrapped it around Preston. A true hero, she said to him. With the cape streaming behind him, Preston ran off to find his family. Mom was the first to hug him tight, exclaiming, It's a miracle you made out alive. Well, what do you know? Papa said. A mouse who can run. How extraordinary. Preston beamed. You are a super rodent, Priscilla laughed. Mount Everest, here we come. Mice would make excellent mountain climbers, Preston said. We have twice as many feet. Let's take our marathon champion home, Papa said. The mouse family all helped to lift an exhausted Preston onto Papa's back. And he ran. The end. If you like my video, please hit the subscribe button down below. Thank you. Have a great day. See you soon.